I'm just YouTube got this whole new thing on here. Hold on a minute. They want me to do a lot. Oops, I hit learn more and I did not mean to do that. Lord. Started out with you guys in my living room, and then when I came up here, my notes was just like, where are you? I'm in my home office right now. Oh, it's something right here in my eye thing. How are you guys? How are you? I'm just giving it a moment. Hopefully YouTube will send out some notifications. But yeah, like I was saying, I just uploaded a video for you guys, but it's like taking so long to upload. And in that video, I was letting you guys know that I was going to be going live. I'm like, okay, I guess the live is taking place beforehand. How's everybody doing? I should have did this on my computer. I wonder if I pull it up here, because I'll be able to read you guys' chat. I mean, this is my phone right here. And then I might have to mute something. I don't even know. It's been so long since I had a live chat. Like, I feel like somebody's grandma trying to figure something out here. Let me see. Can somebody type something so I could just... Oh, do I have to press this to see the chat? Live chat. All messages are visible. Okay. I guess so. I guess so. I guess something will pop up when it's time. Okay. All right. So now I see the beginning of it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I wanted to drop in with you guys and, talk about a few things. Shoot, I got 15 little trinkets, golden little nuggets here for you guys, as far as increasing your emotional maturity. And it's always the simple thoughts, it's always simple things that are just so profound when you just sit back and just think about the concept of, what's being said. So I guess we can just go ahead and drop in. You guys know I'm not really one to tiptoe around things. I mean, feel free to watch the other video. I address a few things on there that you guys might want to hear, but it's always good to come in on the channel. It's always good to. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions about your own situations and you want some advice, you're welcome to drop down in the chat. Live chats are good times to get at me. Other than that, my LakiaCrawford.com website has always still been up, you guys. I've been coaching people behind the scenes. I still run my support group on Facebook. So, I'm very much still involved in the community, period. But I feel like I've just grown from just focusing so much on narcissistic abuse and just more about psychology and emotional maturity, point blank, period. Okay. So some of the things on here are basically all of them. They could just be applied to so many areas of your life. I'm not a one-dimensional type of person. And actually, when people come to coaching, it's not always about narcissistic abuse. It could just be a toxic relationship. And you can be in a toxic relationship and there be no narcissist involved. People throw that word around so much, But that's a whole nother conversation, right? So let's get into here. I have things listed on here. I don't think I'm going to do them in the order. I'll do them in the order that I feel like talking about them and just check them off so I won't be repeating myself. Yeah. So let's see. True power is discipline. Yeah. Let's talk about that first, and all of these are very powerful thoughts and statements in their own lane, of course. They're all valuable. but true power really is discipline. Um, and some of these things I'll add as well are just things that have been highlighted super duper for me in 2022. Like it might have been lessons that coach has been getting reinforcements on. And a lot of my channel is built up around that. You know, I'm sharing, just turning my lemons into lemonade and paying it forward. And hopefully you guys don't have to learn so hard, or you'll get some type of reinforcement to know you're not alone in your situation. But yeah, true power really is in discipline. Man, that word discipline is a heavy word, and most people don't have it. You know, we're imperfect human beings, so there's going to be something that we're not disciplined about, and lots of things. Hey, Sherry, thanks for letting me know my live chat works. But it's the lack of discipline that just tends to uproot our lives and put us in situations that are just far away from, you know, what the most high wants from us, or a higher good or a higher self, you know, not being disciplined. Um, it just plays out in so many ways in life, you know, not having patience. It implies a lot, because when you're disciplined, you understand timing. A lot goes with that word. A disciplined person will have some type of plan, but not just any type of plan. A plan of discipline has respect in it, you know. So discipline is a big word that we all of us human beings, okay, need to become more understanding about. But understand this, people can use discipline in a negative way, you know, because when you think of the users and abusers, they're very disciplined in their concepts and their ideologies, you know, and the way that they move and shake. So their true power, even if it's coming from a dark place, from toxicity, their ability to be disciplined in that, you know, is gives them power against people who aren't disciplined in the opposite way, you know. So for instance, like there's a yin and yang for everything. So if somebody is disciplined and stepping over on other people, or speaking for other people, or basically being aggressive, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, the other person isn't disciplined for speaking up for themselves. You know, there's a lack of discipline. So true power is always going to come in being disciplined in some shape, form, or fashion. What are you being disciplined about? A lot of us could be being disciplined in ways that are actually sabotaging us. You know, our behaviors, our thought processes, you know, what we're giving power to, the true power, you know, um, is actually working against us. So when you're talking about discipline, you're going to have to definitely look into behaviors, you know. So, yeah, true power really does lie in discipline, you guys. I wanted to point that out. All right. Another thing that I understood this, but I think I took some more time this year to contemplate on, is understanding where love thrives versus where it merely survives. All right, where love thrives versus where it merely survives. Good to see you too, Tarsha. Um, in those toxic relationships, our love for the other person was merely surviving, you know, and that's a crappy feeling. We all know that. If it's merely surviving, that doesn't even mean that it's being reciprocated or anything like that. It means that there is some ability for it to be present, but how so? You know, like I don't want, if I have a big old picture here and there's a dot on it, that's how my love shows up in the whole picture. That dot right there. Like, you know, it's not even in its glory, you know, it's not really being able to be present at that point. So just understanding where love thrives versus where it merely survives. And obviously it's going to thrive where other love is present, you know, and you guys, the love is coming together. And it's not just this one way thing that's not being reciprocated. All right. So that's important to understand in any given situation. And you guys, when I talk about relationships, you don't have to just make it romantic. It be your family, you know, your own children. It can even be your partnerships, your friends, just all those, any situation where love could be something that would be on the table. All right. So we need to definitely understand where love thrives versus where it's merely surviving. You should not be settling for situations where it's merely surviving, obviously, right? Now, this is a simple statement, but just think about it when I say it. You can't accept things you don't understand. You can't accept things that you don't understand. So if somebody doesn't understand love, it's going to be hard for them to accept it. And this goes both ways. The other person can't accept you if they don't really understand you. If they never really even got to know you. You understand what I'm saying? So people can't accept things that they don't understand. And that goes for, you know, people in the healing process when they hit those roadblocks. It's something that they're not understanding about the situation a lot of times. And it's hard for them to accept. It's hard for them to accept an ending. They don't understand why it has to end. All right. So it's hard to accept things that we don't understand, point blank, period. And it goes both ways. And that's really a profound statement when you think about that. Yeah. And then, you know, when you think about communication problems that we could have with people, it's hard for people to accept things that they don't understand, you know. And just because somebody understands your language doesn't mean they understand what you're saying. And that's point blank, period. This next statement is more about addiction, and is the brain goes off of what it feels and not what it thinks when it's in addiction mode. You're going off of what you feel versus what you think. A lot of people think of a brain as just something that is only about thoughts. No, our brain actually has massive controls over our feelings. It releases hormones and all types of things in regards to our feelings, and that affect the way that we feel about things. And that's why when I have previous videos speaking about trauma bonds and whatnot, and how the addiction and the pathway is repeatedly made in the brain that makes you addicted to that toxic situation. And you're going off of what you're feeling because of the dopamines and different things that are being released in that moment. But when we're in addiction, the brain is definitely going off of what it feels versus what it thinks. But that lets us know that in order to counter addiction, we have to start thinking and not worry about the feelings at first, because your feelings are going to still be in alignment with that which you are addicted to. So you have to go off of what you think. You have to be intellectual about it. And I was just telling somebody this in a coaching session the other day, that they're really going to have to be proactive now that they're, you know, getting out of a situation that wasn't serving them. And you're going to have to be mindful. And now that I'm telling you what to expect coming up in these next days, weeks, you're going to start making a plan. Okay, you told me I was going to feel like this. What can we do right now? Before we start feeling that way, we're being mindful about it right now. And we're going to think of a plan to counter that. So when you're in addiction, the brain is going off of what it feels versus what it thinks. So there's a huge imbalance there. All right. And the feelings are not in alignment with what, you know, is going to be good for you ultimately. It's just some toxic, dark, three-dimensional, humanly, fleshly thing that ain't shit. It's like an ain't shit part of us. But, through all of that, we can get to better places, right? We can get to better places with self-awareness, all right? And that requires thinking. This is going to go back to thinking. So this is a good one right here. This is our fifth one that we're going over. The highest level of freedom is choice. Oh, yes. The highest level of freedom is choice. How many times have we been in situations where we haven't even allowed ourselves to see choices? Or we were so ignorant that we didn't even know what our choices were. The highest level of freedom is understanding that we actually have a choice. And this is why Kanye West, he got a lot of slack for saying this, but he said slavery was a choice. He said that. And people got really mad at it. Um, the people who were enslaved had no other choices. Honestly, we always have other choices. We do have some kind of choices. I'm not saying this is a touchy topic. I probably shouldn't have used for an example, but I'm not saying that, okay, 20 white men ganging up on one black man, um about to castrate him and lynch him. I'm not saying that he had a whole bunch of choices in that moment. But as a group, maybe there were some other choices that could have been had as a group, especially when there's typically can be power in numbers when there's more. But the highest level of freedom is definitely going to be choices. Nobody is stuck at a dead end job, especially not now in 2022. There's so many ways that people can be making money. Um, no one is stuck in a dead end relationship. There's billions of people in the world. There's other options. You know, the only thing you are really stuck with is you. And then that's a freedom of choice too, because there's suicide. I'm just saying there's always the highest level of freedom is choices and knowing that you have these choices. I was trying to see it. I don't even know how to bring it back, but I can see it like for a few seconds when you guys enter the chat and speak. But nice to see you as well. So our job then is to know what these choices are and recognize the freedom that it presents for us. You got to understand that you have freedom. You're not really stuck, but sometimes it takes a creative mind to see the freedom and the choices. And sometimes it just takes a mind that's not sick, a mind that's not beat up, a mind that's not defeated, a mind that's not, brainwashed. And that's why people, your opposition, your enemies, they try to take your freedom away from you. They try to have you see things in a distorted way. But a strong mind is not going to be swayed by that anyway. But yeah, the highest level of freedom is definitely a choice. We have to know what the choices are. Whatever train you're going to break in your life, whether it's poverty, whether it's, body image, whether it's just doing the shadow work, just the freedom is always going to be in choice. And that is definitely the highest level of freedom. Understanding your choices, knowing what they are. All right. The next thing is you don't have to be experienced to be qualified. God uses people from all walks of life. And or else we wouldn't have one hit wonders and people that pop out on the scene for this and that. You don't have to be experienced to be qualified. You just have a gift, and it's going to be used the way it's going to be used. You don't have to be experienced to be qualified. Just because you don't feel like you're experienced in having self-esteem doesn't mean you ain't qualified to have it now. I'm just trying to make this be connected into ways that people in this channel can understand. You don't have to be experienced to be qualified. If you want to be a millionaire and no one in your family ever made over 60K, 75K, you don't have to come from a wealthy background to qualify to, be wealthy in life. You don't have to come from to be able to move into, to step into, to be promoted into. You don't have to be experienced to be qualified. All right. You don't have to be experienced to be qualified. So a lot of us base too much off of the past. The past is just a tool to learn from, but it does not have to be what your future look like. It doesn't have to be what your future look like. You could have been raised this way, that way. Learn from it. Learn from it. And I have something else in here. I'm gonna just go ahead and where I've talked about basically the past. And this is something that I put on my support group as well that I wanted all of you to know about. I mean, I remember it, but I want to say it exactly. I want to say it exactly. Okay, yeah, here it is down here. Don't make pain a part of your identity. It's something that has happened to you and not who you are. Yeah, yeah. And this is just speaking to people who like to live in the past, for Christ's sake. You ever just been around somebody, and I know it could be, I could be speaking to somebody like that, and they just, every day they talking about something that happened 5 years ago, 10, 20, and the most negative things, like, okay, like, and it's talking about this story over and over, like every 3, 4, sometimes it's every day. Like, that's living in the past. Like, don't make it a part of your identity. I know that, you feel like, okay, it shaped me into who I am today. It affects my personality, my way of thinking, but you can heal from things. There's ways to be better than what you went through. But all of us know somebody that just, all they do is talk about what they had. It's like, do you have any future plans for yourself? Present plans for yourself? It's a lot. It's a lot, you guys. So let's not make pain, especially when you've gone through narcissistic abuse. Ooh, 15%. Let me get a charger. And someone's calling me. Hold on a minute. Can you guys hear that ringing? Decline. Yeah, don't make pain a part of your identity. It's something that happened to you and not who you are. All right? All right, it's not who you are. Oh, this is a good one. This one right here, this is a good one. This is a good one. If you think someone's doing you a favor, you will take whatever they offer you. Yeah. And it's kind of sad, too, when you think about it. When I've talked to so many survivors of narcissistic abuse, like, why did I allow them to do this and that? Sometimes we think somebody's doing us a favor when our self-esteem is that low. When you think somebody is doing you a favor and you think so lowly of yourself, you will take what's being offered. But when you come up out of that energy and you know who you are, you know the king and queen that you are, you know what you bring to the table, you see your beauty. And, this isn't just all about, oh, how much money I got, but you know who God says you are and you see your light. There's no such thing as this. But when you think somebody's doing you a favor, you will take what's offered. That's something deep to think about right there. Something deep to think about. Here's another one that I've said to someone in the last 24 hours. We don't always get what we deserve, but we definitely get what we accept. Yep. We don't always get what we deserve, but we definitely get what we accept. And it just means, life is not always fair. But if you're accepting this, that's what you got. You're going to get what you accept. You don't always get what you deserve, but you're going to get what you accept. Here's another one. Even a fool is seen as wise when his mouth is shut. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Even a fool is seen as wise with his mouth shut. Yep. And this just speaks to people unnecessarily, opening their mouth, sharing private things, sharing their next move. I mean, you don't always have to move in silence, but generally it's better to, share things after you've already got it off the ground, after it's already been cemented. But yeah, even a fool is seen as wise with his mouth shut. hmm And this also speaks to thinking before we speak, having some type of filter, not just running off of emotions, right? And sometimes it's better to be quiet until you know what you should be saying, if you should be saying something at all, you know? And that's how sometimes when manipulative people are pricking and poking, and then they know sometimes when to be quiet, and then that's when we're overly emotional. We're quiet when we shouldn't be, behind closed doors when we should be just checking them right off the rip. And then we look like a mad person when you're in front of a police officer, you're in front of a courtroom, you're in front of friends and family, you're on social media or something. Like, it's understanding, when to open your mouth and when not. Usually manipulative people, they have enough control, usually, and most of the time, to know when to talk and when to shut up. A lot of times they'll say a lot of stuff. They do stuff to you in private because they know it's just me and you. And then when you usually, things get bottled up and you have your outbursts, a lot of times it's in a public way. And then even a fool is looked as wise. You're looked at as the crazy person. You know, you look up as the crazy person. So this here I have in my office, and it's something that I've had to tell myself a lot. And I don't even know if it's going to show, but faith over fear. Yeah, that's the last thing that I wrote down in here. So much about human nature is fear driven. It really is. A lot of times when we're not going for something, we're not speaking up for ourselves, we're not, exuding the self confidence, we're not going for what we really want. We're settling for second best or third, fourth, or whatever have you. But yeah, faith over fear. Faith over fear. And that just speaks to being connected with your spirituality. Like, I believe in a higher source, and I know that person I know that source, God, got my back and he's here with me. So having faith that if you are doing things out of your emotional maturity, you have planned, you have done your research, you're giving yourself the best chance. And it's okay if something quote unquote fails or doesn't go perfect. Nothing goes perfect anyway, right? Yeah, someone's messaging me. Yeah, but faith over fear, you guys. We need a lot more of that. And stop allowing other people to be in control of that. Like, just because you had a bad experience with another human being, you don't have any faith and you're going to be operating out of fear. Just take your lessons. And I understand, like, people have been through some crappy situations, because I have as well. But God has revealed himself to me actually through those situations. It was through my rock bottom situations where he was the most revealed to me, because he kept me. He kept me, and I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here today if it wasn't for that. So this speaks to burnout. This speaks to burnout, you guys. If you don't take a break, the break takes itself. When God loves you, he'll find a way to get you on track. And it's by any means necessary. Like, how hard headed are you? Depends on the approach that he's going to need to take with you. But, as far as when I wrote this down, You're talking to someone who's worked like 2 full-time jobs for, I want to say 4 years without a vacation, without no real time off, and while running a whole household at one point that had 6 children in it, and some of them special needs. Like, talk about the burnout. Talk about the burnout. And these are some of the reasons why I have not been on the channel as much as when I used to do YouTube full time. But if you don't take the break takes itself. So it's a hard lesson that I've had to learn, and it's not a money hungry thing. It's just a lot of responsibilities, really. But even with that, when you have a solid career, such I do, it's like, okay, did you really need to meet that much, or was your lifestyle of this and that? And even beyond that, I just, where I had it in the past, I really valued the time down. I always knew it was okay to be still, you know, but I do have like this go, go, go energy in me where I'm, this productive person doing this. And I'll say Rome wasn't built in a day, but I'll still be trying to get as much done as I can. And it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's money well spent, because what happens is you start to run out of gas, something called gas. You start running out of it, and you're wearing yourself out. You're not getting the proper sleep. You're probably not eating right. And when you're that focused on in one area, something else is going to fall by the wayside. So if you don't take a break, the break takes itself. It happens in so many levels, even just mentally. You let all this stuff pile up on you. You're not taking a break from just constantly exposing yourself to these toxic situations. What happened? A mental breakdown. You know, you got to take the break. You got to take the break. We can't just eat nonstop. That's why sometimes we fast. We have to take a break. So if you don't take a break, the break takes itself. And in the most serious situations, people just falling asleep at the wheel and all types of things because they're just not getting a proper rest. You don't want to take your breaks that way. Things start to simmer inside of you and you start having side effects. I remember after trauma I went through years and years ago, I started having panic attacks. My body was trying to get my attention and to get me to take a break. And God has his ways of putting you on breaks when you need to. And sometimes it could be jail. You know how many people I talked to that went to jail and like, well, I feel like if I didn't go through that, I would have lost my life if I would have been out there in the streets, So, thank you, Surviving Life Hurdles. She thinks I look great. And hey, just be real. And I literally came on here looking rough. I don't even have on chapstick, but thank you. That's right. You're seeing the inner glow. You're seeing the inner glow. But yeah, if you don't take the break takes itself, you guys. It's important. It's very much important. And you don't want to hit a wall, because then your break is going to feel more like a crisis, some type of crisis that's going to have to take place to force you to take a break that you just won't take. So, and you can replace break. If you don't take the ending will take itself. But what type of ending is it going to be? The kind where you're in your power and you were in your logic, you knew what you had to disconnect from, and you're in reality? Or is it an ending where you lost your life because you just wouldn't get away from that abusive person? Like, take the break when you need to. And it's a refresh and it's a reset as well. Man, like, that's the one thing. Like, I remember like the younger version of me, and even like last year it was like, oh, I'll take a vacation later. Like I see the value of it. Like my productivity, like after I took that break and I came back, I was just so, it was a lot better. I felt like I didn't take enough time. I like a break. I need a damn sabbatical. Like it was like very invigorating to me, and I just had so much more respect for taking that time, that downtime. And that's another reason why I hadn't been posting as much here. First of all, I've made over 1,000 videos. I was like, God, do you still like, when he wasn't telling me to say anything, I don't say anything. And there's periods of times where he's not provoking me to come on here and talk to you guys. But during those times, he may be dealing with me about something in other areas in my life. But when I come back, I can share that those levels of emotional maturity with you guys too. But if you don't take the break will take itself. All right. That's important. And while we're on the topic of that, I wanted to just speak to burnout, especially like for those of you that live in America and it's just go, go, go. Like, yeah, it's important. So I go to bed early pretty much every night, and my sleep hygiene is so precious to me for more than one reason, but I definitely, I'm sleeping very well. I'm sleeping very well. And I'm just taking inventory of all types of things. Like I said in the video that's uploading, I'm taking a break from meat. Actually, I may it may become a permanent break. Then it's not even a break, it's just a lifestyle change at that point. But I don't know, I find that I've been a lot lighter without eating the meat so much. Maybe I'll just keep it to the wild caught fish or something like that. But I don't know. My body just seems to be, I seem to be more energetic when I'm not really consuming meat. So it's just something that I've been in tune with about myself. So I've been making that change. But, burnout happens when your reward and your efforts um, aren't matching. That's when you're getting a burnout. So you're working so much, but you're not stopping to say, okay, Lakia, or whatever, you did all of this. All right, now put your foot up for a second, or you deserve a day off, or, there's no, the reward is just, okay, we're going to do more. We're going to do more. We're going to put out more effort, and the rewards are not there. So if the number of commitments are too great, it's time to take a break. It's time to cut back, point blank, period. Because if you don't take the break will take itself, and you don't want your body falling apart and like you just look like shit, like, oh, but you got this in your bank account. But you know what, it's true. If someone said, hey, I'll give you $10 million, but you're going to die tomorrow, you're going to take your life, you're going to take your health, you're going to take those things over the money. So money is not king. If it means it takes you a little bit longer to reach a goal, then that's what it is, right? But if you don't take the break will take itself, you guys. All right. So another thing I have on here is closed doors are blessings too. Embrace the endings, right? A closed door is a blessing as well. A lot of people are so one-dimensional, like, oh, we just want open doors. No, God, close the doors that need to be closed. Reveal the people I shouldn't be around. Closed doors are blessings as well. Like sometimes he'll let you know the thing that your heart wanted would have destroyed you by revealing some information to you at some point. You're like, damn, I'm glad he didn't give me what I asked for, right? A closed door can be a blessing as well. So let's just automatically set our minds to think, you know what? If God wanted me to have that, he would open the door. And we have to also start looking at what closed doors are. It's not just something that's an automatic no. Yes, that's a clear one. But what other type of closed doors are there? Things that are uphill battles, so to speak. I'm not talking about the kind where we're fighting addiction. It's an uphill battle. No. Come on. We're not talking about that. But a relationship, if it's an uphill battle, like, oh man, it's been 2 years, it's been all this time invested in this relationship, and we still can't do X, Y, and Z. That's a closed door that you're trying to open. And those are the type of doors we don't need to be opening. Like, you got to have common sense to know when a door is closed. Okay, this door is closed. It just meant I was supposed to go through the window. Or no, this door is closed permanently. Like, I'm not supposed to even be going, knocking at this door, going in this direction. We have to really start having discernment and being connected to the source, so we'll know, when that closed door is like the kind that is do not ever enter for you. It's different kind of closed doors. It is. But I'm talking about the kinds that are kind of red taped for you. Those are blessings, because it's not something that's going to be positive on your journey. All right. So let's understand what type of closed door it is. Is closed temporarily, or is just something I don't even need to be ever knocking on, really? All right. Because we want to reach our fullest potentials. Yeah, the closed door could be, honestly, you're supposed to evolve into not eating meat. That could be a closed door, understanding your body and your digestion, just on so many levels. Is it a closed door? Is it a permanent closed door? Is it a temporary closed door? Whatever. You need to understand what type of closed door it is, first and foremost. All right. And I think this is the last thing I have here on this list, because I'm looking through all of these things. It really does start with you as an adult. All right. Because people get so technical with me sometimes. But as an adult, it really does start with you. A lot of times in those situations, we wanted people to be giving us things that we weren't giving ourselves. Because if we were giving ourselves adequate self-love, we wouldn't even tolerate it, half of it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't tolerate it, this much of it. So be giving yourself already what you expect others to be giving you. All right? Let the self-respect, or the whole idea of respect, start with you. Boundaries start with you. Have boundaries with yourself. Have boundaries with yourself. Like, be a best friend to yourself. No, I'm not going to overwork you. No, you're going to get your proper rest. Oh, the doctor said this. I'm going to make sure I keep up with you, Lakia. Like, I'm not going to just abandon you. So it really does start with you. And you'll see how you start attracting different kinds of people. And this is funny. I'm taking this back to the whole meat thing. Lately, I have been bumping into people that don't eat meat. And it's not something that I'm telling them. It's just it's an energetic thing. I stopped eating meat. I naturally just started energetically bumping into people, and they will reveal. I was like, really? And these people, and the funny thing about it, and these people have been not eating meat for way longer than me. So I'm like, oh, God is giving me a support system. It's confirmation. He'll let you know things if you're in tune. You just got to be in tune with it. But I'm just wilding out. I'm like, what? You haven't been eating meat for 12 years? Based off of my 2 months to their 12 years. But energetically, you will start attracting certain things, and you're going to see. But here's the thing that people don't understand as well. Just because you did the work and you're shining even brighter, you're in even mentally stronger and healthier place, you're still going to attract, narcissists and users as well, because who doesn't want something that's shiny anyway? They're going to want it. People that deserve it and people that don't deserve it. But you should have, by that point, more wisdom to be able to see it coming and understand this about human nature. Everybody wants the it person. Everybody likes to be around good energy. you know, for different reasons, for different reasons. But you'll definitely start attracting people who match your energy as well, though. You will. You will. Because that was crazy. I was like, yo, I'm meeting so many people. Like, it's crazy. Like, energetically, the shift was just happening. And that's what happened, you guys. It's awesome. But I'm looking forward to 2023. I have, like, a lot of great things planned for myself, you know, that have been in the works, you know. So I'm excited, you know. I'm very excited. What did you guys think of the things that we were speaking on this evening? You have anything to add to it? If you guys want to drop in the comments and leave a pearl of wisdom to someone that you learned in 2023, you're definitely welcome to do that, you know. Because I posted this on a support group. I was like, I never stopped being I'm a teacher, but I never stopped being a student, you know. None of us are. We're not put here for that. Nobody knows everything. Nobody ever will know everything, point blank, period. But we're all students, even the teacher. And I learn from you guys. I learn. I'll post stuff on the support group and people will be posting. I'm like, okay. Or, you know, my consensus is the people in the support group, you guys are really solid. And I'm proud of you guys. Like, I've been, you know, I don't be on social media a lot, but when I go through the timelines and the stuff that you guys put underneath my posts, like, I see the growth. I see the growth. Like, we just be talking about psychology now. There's not too many of them that are just, you know, stuck in toxic relationships and stuff. Like, you guys are evolving, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. In the last video that's still not uploaded, I was talking about how my schedule is just so tight. You know, I would love to be full-time here, but I'm not. But hopefully you guys can take me when I can come through, you know, take me when I can come through. And always, of course, you know, you can enjoy the content that I've already posted on this channel. But, you know, I'm just going to be here sporadically until that can change. But I'm always thinking about you guys, right? I'm always thinking about you guys, and I appreciate, you know, you guys showing love to the channel. You know, help it grow. Help it grow. There are lots of people who need to, you know, see that my channel does exist, and emotional maturity is definitely not taught in schools. It definitely isn't. Do you guys have any questions or anything about your situations that you want me to, you know, try to help you answer? I'll leave that open. Let me check something real quick. All right. Yeah, I probably have about 3 minutes left, so you can put something on here if you have any questions or concern about an area of your life. I'll give you some advice if you would like. So I feel like I've just done so well on this channel with, you know, helping people that you guys got it on lock. You know better. You know better. But I send you guys many blessings for the new year. You know, I'm still busy trying to get my Thanksgiving stuff down and putting the Christmas stuff up, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it with the twins. You guys will see them in the video that's going to be coming uploaded next. Yeah. They keep me on my toes. I can't believe how big, like, they started kindergarten this year, and their speech is just so much better. Like, I'm like, what? Like, and they were already running their mouths pretty good because they had older siblings. But their way of communicating, Nene, she was like, Mom, I think that's enough ornaments yesterday. And I was like, first of all, they were the ones who wanted to put up every ornament, and that mean I had to put all of the little metal things through the loops because they're only 5. And they're like, I'm going to poke myself. And I had to do every single one of them. I'm like, ugh. She's like, I think that's enough. I was like, oh, really? She's like, no, I'm just joking with you, Mom. They are just quite the young ladies. quite the young ladies. I'm going to, oh my God, I plan to like travel the world with them. Yeah, I'm going to take some trips with them. You know, we're going to go to Paris and Iceland and Dubai. Like, I'm going to travel with them too. I was like, they're my best friends. I'm my best friend, but they're like my BFFs too, my daughters. They're so cute, you guys. I love them so much. I'm gonna be traveling with them little girls. They're gonna be everywhere. We about to like travel. And it's gonna be so exciting and spiritual at the same time. Some of the places anyway. But all of it. Yeah. I think I just wanted some spring water from Denmark. They say they have like the crispest water. I was like, oh, I want to taste that. I want to get in a blue lagoon in Iceland. Like, yeah. It's time. It's time. And I was like, oh, I'll just go with the twins. You know, me and the twins, we gonna be out. We gonna be out. We gonna go and see the world together. All right, you guys, my phone is literally about to die. If no one has any comments, feel free to watch the other video. I touched a little bit on BG. I'm gonna just say Brittany, because if I don't want my thing to take 5 hours to post up because I said this girl's name over and over and over, no. So I gave a little bit of my opinion on that. I know we don't really do current events on this channel, but hey, sometimes I do. Maybe I should hop on and give opinions on things. Let me know if you want to hear me do stuff like that. But yeah, I touched on that a little bit in the last video. But yeah, I'm about to go. It's been almost an hour here. It was great touching bases with you guys. Hopefully, you know, the stuff that I talked about was something that someone needed to hear at this time. You know. Other than that, I love you guys, and you know, just hit the check your bell so that you can continue to be notified when I pop up. All right, you guys, I love you guys. I'm over on the support group if you want. And like I said, my website, lakiacrawford.com, it is up. I'm still doing coaching sessions and helping people. Like, that's my main work right there that I love to do. Like, the coaching sessions are awesome. Like, I be in my zone. I really be in my zone, and it's so helpful. And people make progress that takes them forever to make, if at all, with a brick and mortar counselor. So behind the scenes, and I see that in my chart where I'm like behind the scenes powerful. Like, people don't know, like, behind the scenes, the behind the scenes type of thing, you know. But man, it's confirmation when people get these sessions with me and they come back and they let me know how it's blessing them. So look, give it a try. If you're in counseling and you've hit a brick wall, you feel like the progression really isn't there, try something. Would I call it even non-conventional in 2022? Because coaching has been around for quite some time, but try an alternative or try another way, you know, because you're at the door. Maybe you go through the window. Come see Coach Lakia. All right. It is definitely one of my gifts. It is. That's where I shine the brightest, I feel, even more than on these videos, like one-on-one with people or with a couple or whatever, just in those private sessions. But all right, you guys, I'm going to hang this up before it hangs me up, because I don't know if I got to click upload, and I want to be able to make sure I'm doing that. I miss you guys as usual, but I am still here. I am definitely still here. All right. I'm sending you guys mad energy for a positive, productive rest of the year and a positive, productive, and healthy new year. And we just going to keep elevating and leveling up and growing. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I got to end this thing from my cell phone. All right, come on, Coach Lakia. You know how to do this. You can do this. What is this button for? Oh, okay. So that brought up all of that. All right, you guys, I think I figured it out. Do you want to stop streaming? Yes. No, but yes.